Lots of them. So here's the thermal imaging camera. You should be able to see me in there, red, orange, and yellow guy. If you were a bridal party, I would make the joke that I'm the hottest thing inside the video right now. It still works, even though you're not a bridal party. But that joke is there on purpose, so you remember that we're looking for blue and black. You will be getting this video back, through your media. It's going to be your first video that you get back. But what we're looking for in here, those blue and black areas are going to be the coldest spots. I'm looking for them to either take shape or to start moving on their own. When I say take shape, I want head, shoulders, moving arms and legs. Like, that's what we're looking for here. We're also... Sorry, I had to clear my throat because I feel like I'm screaming over the fan. But there's a blue dot bouncing around the screen. You guys might not be able to see it from the angle that you're at, but it will be on your video. It's there to actually help guide your eye to find the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. So we are, I want to say 81 degrees out here tonight, so I'll be looking for 66 degrees and colder. I usually look for 15 plus degree temperature drops when I'm looking for those little blue dots bouncing around. So it might just be the blue dot that's super cold. It might not be a super blue big anomaly on the screen. With this particular camera, does it capture something every night? Not necessarily, but again, when we do find something, it is a holy cow moment. I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh no, it will tonight.
Okay, good. I'm all about it. So... I love the positivity. Yeah. It's so awesome. You guys are like super, like, there are some groups I get, guys, where you're literally just staring at me, but you're all got like this weird grimace. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, I'm freaked out at this point. So with this one in particular, since you're so super excited about it, I'm actually going to throw this your way.
Okay.
So everybody handles this right-handed. This is your start and stop button. I'm going to go ahead and stop it at this point. So, no, it's a weird space, but it used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. This is kind of a little bit of a windy one, so I'm going to take another quick drink. But what you guys do need to know is, with all of you communication device people, I am not going to be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there at the Big Red Barn. You will be getting the answers from all of your communication devices. So,
I got 3.6.
Beautiful. Love it. Hang on to that number. I'm going to have to write it down. Keep it going up. Easy, I got you. Anyway, welcome to where the Charles and Eliza Pinckney mansion used to be. So it used to sit in the front of this space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing where the servant and slave quarters were for the home. So who the heck were these people? Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues. That way I know which Charles is coming through in the event somebody hears or sees the name Charles. So, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than everybody here, so we're going to move on. If I don't bring that up, they normally do it for me in a very angry, you didn't give me the credit I deserve type of manner on your spirit boxes, and I try not to piss off this family. You're going to find out why here very shortly. Megan's like, oh crap, where did you bring me? I just seen that sigh of like, oh my god. But anyway, the Pinckneys. We're going to talk about Eliza instead. She has a much better story anyway. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say that because if you're going to ask her how old she was, don't expect numbers from the colonial days of when young ladies got married like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards. Because her husband was over double her age, even in the colonial times that they came from. So it's a creepy age gap back then, and it's a creepy age gap now. I'm just going to point that out. But anyway, she married him because her father was over in England. He thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his children home so he can see them one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card. We're not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love, and don't poke the bear. There's no love affair or any foul play. This is a true love story, everybody. Don't mess it all up. A lot of people like to go, how many men did you sleep with? Like, that's not a thing here. But yeah, believe me, we're going to get into that later on. But anyway, so she was right. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys have been in town for at least a day that I know of. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. That is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for today. Eliza didn't know what to do with the plant when she got it, so she had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not always hot here. And then she had to learn how to make the dye. When she did that, she moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of her dad and said the rice plantations were going downhill and that they were going to make a killing with the indigo. We now have an international businesswoman during colonial times, something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here in front of me. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give every communication device a set of questions to focus on. What that means for you guys, on your TV shows, and you guys will pretty much attest to this right away, I normally get a lot of head nods, they ask one question from one device, and they put the camera on that one device for 5 minutes until a commercial break. Don't get discouraged if you're not getting a direct answer. Jennifer might actually ask a question, Carol might get the answer. That's why I like to use so many different types of devices and make sure we have enough communication. Not to mention we're using all 3 of my cameras plus my voice recorder. It can come up as a full-blown disembodied EVP. We never know where the answers are going to go. So that's why you guys are going to be spread out in this location, and I'm going to be bouncing around with you guys to see what's going on. In this location, I'll do 2 full round robins because there are 10 of you, and then I'll bring us all back here and give us all the answers. So, kind of gives you the gist. So with Todd's device, you're specifically going to go after what happened to the mansion. Your device normally only gives us like 1 to 2 syllables at a time, so obviously it's some kind of tragedy. But if you get the what, we will normally get 2 or 3 numbers of the when. That's the date. So again, that's obviously the month, day, and year. So those are going to be your 2 major questions that you're going to focus on, is like what's going on with the mansion. It's not here anymore. With yours, Miss Carol, Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. Kind of a jerk move if you really think about it. So the first wife dies in January of 1744, and 5 months later, he married the one we just talked about. Both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. Figure out which one we're dealing with. The other piece for you would be how old she was when she got married. So that kind of leads me to Brandon as well. We don't expect a whole lot out of this device. Getting her straight initials of ELP in that order is exciting. So that's what you're going to be looking for out of that specifically. The 2 red spirit boxes, so that would basically be Ellie and Jennifer, you're going to have the same set of questions. Eliza's death. You can ask her how old she was, what she died from, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. All of these questions you can cherry pick from one another. The one thing I'm going to ask that you don't do is ask about Eliza's children. We are too close to a tragedy date in the family, and that is not a bear we want to poke. So we want to kind of stay away from that. Did you get any other numbers coming out of yours, Chris? Okay. So it's definitely not higher than a 3.6 that you gave me earlier.
4, right up to 3.6. Or 3.6.
It's a 3.6 and a 4. So Mary, did you get anything out of yours at all? Okay, very interesting. So we are going to spread out. I'm going to keep Brandon behind so I can show him a little bit more about his little Ouija board device. But just be mindful of the vehicles. Just don't even go on that side of the lot. We're actually very gracious tonight. A lot of room tonight because it's the night before a holiday and nobody's parked in here. So let's spread out, and I'm going to meet up with everybody here in just a second. It looks like, Kayla, you got nothing?
What are we doing? I'm supposed to find out what Eliza's last name was.
Are you supposed to ask questions?
Yeah, Eliza, what's your last name?
Are you supposed to ask questions?
And then the
Eliza,
other...
can you share? What's your last name?
How old were you when you got married? Eliza doesn't ask. Where does it go? Regulate. Eliza.
Eliza. Eliza, what's your last name? And are you here with us? Eliza, are you here with us? Come on, let me see. This is kind of cool, isn't it? Eliza, what's your last name?
How old were you, Eliza, when you got married?
Eliza!
Eliza, we can't go back to the curb without the information. Oh, and quit telling me regulate. What does that mean? I liked it better when I got an odd exception.
Eliza? Is anyone here?
There's someone in the...
What?
There's someone in the...
Someone's in the tree?
someone in the picture for heat.
Oh.
Yeah, Eliza doesn't really sound.
Oh, that looks fun. How do we do?
Eliza.
Eliza, girl. Help a girl out.
You're not going to take Siri over.
You're what?
She's not going to take Siri over. Or Alexa.
Eliza, we're sorry about what happened to you, but we need you to say something.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Yeah.
Carol, have you figured out how to find the words on there yet?
Aren't they up right here?
They are, but when you want to see the whole list, you hit the little white box on the right, and it'll show you everything we've had so far. So every once in a while, I'll come by and kind of see what you have and kind of scroll through it, just to see if there's anything. I like the word English, and that's really the only thing so far.
Sadie, what's it?
No.
Recognize.
Nope.
Okay, so then after you kind of look through them, you just hit that little button in the top right.
Okay.
Just stick to the right side.
Which button?
So you hit the little white on the right, and then the top right.
Cool.
And that'll get you back to your main screen.
Sounds good.
Nice and easy.
And I was supposed to be like, okay, Nick, this is going to sound funny, but like, do we talk to Eliza? Do we be like,
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Eliza?
I get this question every night. It's okay. You're in a safe space. You can talk about this. That's all right. Like, I know you're kind of like, are we supposed to ask out loud, or can I just focus on it?
Yeah.
Like, that's a question I get on a regular basis.
Okay.
So, again, it's whatever you're comfortable with. As long as you're respectful out loud, go out loud. If you are comfortable with it, just make sure that you're respectful to Miss Eliza. But in the event that you're uncomfortable with talking to somebody you physically can't see, focus on your questions of whatever I gave her to do, or whatever you really want to know. So that way it'll kind of come up around the energy that's around the two of you, because that's where your mind is at. So it's kind of like the seeker, right? So energy begets energy. So whatever you're focused on, those are the answers that are going to come to you.
Okay.
So just kind of keep that in mind.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but again, later on we'll see like how things are going for you, because being a videographer isn't always the most exciting thing out here.
Oh.
So I'll see like obviously how you guys are doing with this, and I do have another spirit box that you can listen to if that's what you want to go to. But again, being the videographer, you guys literally have the only one that you don't have to listen to. Everybody else has one that they can listen to.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of like I try to do a listening one of each one, but I also make sure like I know when people are older than me that they don't always have those listening skills, because I don't have all those listening skills. So again, I try not to always give the listener pieces to
This is good for
you
me.
guys. Get my point.
Yeah,
So
that's good for you, Mom.
I'm not saying that you're older than me, but you're older than me, dear. So again, I don't know if you use any kind of pieces in your ear. I've done
No,
that,
this
but
is good for her,
Yeah.
honestly.
so perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And the listening thing, yeah.
I'm going to follow up with everybody else and kind of see where things are going. Chris is getting super high EMF, so we may not stay here long. So just
Okay.
be prepared
Okay.
for me to call everybody back. How are we doing with severe high EMF?
Me.
Not me.
What? Did you say
Okay, I see iron. Eliza, did you iron a lot?
Is he saying that I'm older than him?
No. He was talking to me.
Oh.
So he gave me the easy one. Because I might not have hearing.
Yeah, no, but I gave you guys because it seems generic to both you and me.
No, I don't think so.
I haven't had any readings, no.
Eliza. Come on, Eliza. How old were you when you got married?
So I would say my name.
What was your last name? Your maiden name?
Chris gave it to Chris.
The name Gabriel was on that list.
Yeah.
That's too far away, I think. Oh no, right there above iron. Go back down.
Drawing? But I really like stories. Just like
The sixth came in. Could have been 6.
I want to
see if I get it okay.
Say, let's rein everybody in. I gotta explain a few things that are happening.
Oh, that was first again?
Just let it go and it starts up like what
Oh, yeah.
So,
I have one button. You,
yeah.
right?
It just turns it on and off.
So then when I'm ready to go, then I have to.
Yeah, so you unmute it, and it will normally take 15, 20 seconds to warm up
Gotcha.
because it works a lot differently. So whenever I'm covering the history, I'll ask you to mute it, and you literally have the only one that's, loudspeaker. So we have a couple of things going on. I think I need to explain the EMF readings first because we got all the way up to a 160, and then we errored out. So it probably went well over 200, and that's my guesstimate. I can't tell because it errored out on Chris. So what does this device actually do? Let me explain it in terms of your house. For those of you with video cameras, if you want to go ahead and stop them to give your hands a break, by all means do so. Because again, what do you got?
I heard John, Cleveland, and Brave a couple times.
Who the hell's John Cleveland?
I heard what?
You heard what?
From here. The new one, though, not the.
Any words showing up on there, Carol?
Just here. Here.
Just anything before that?
Like that. No, it's at the top.
Drawing.
Drawing again? That's the second time drawing showed up.
Drawing, yep.
Interesting. Oh, that would actually make sense here. We're in Dueler's Alley. Take 10 paces, turn,
Oh,
shoot.
yeah.
You gotta draw your gun. That makes complete sense. Sorry, I had to think about that one for a minute. I'm like, why is it showing up again? Like, that's so weird. So, welcome to Philadelphia Alley. I know it's empty right now, and it just made me look like a big fat liar. This is normally like packed to the gills on the week of 4th of July, so I just kind of have to prepare you for that because every ghost tour stops down here. For those of you with video cameras, obviously it looks like Tyler's already up and rolling. But if you have one, go ahead and get that thing started. So Kaylee, with yours too, I definitely want you shooting it down one way or the other. Cameras don't always have to stay on me. You're going to get the audio later. It's all about trying to capture evidence. So in the event that other tours start to come through here, they're going to come through that wall. Just so you know, there's a little side step right there, or they'll be coming in through this way. And we just split the seas and let them go through. I'll stop talking. Again, every ghost tour tells the same story down here. I just tell it a little bit differently because you're ghost hunting. We're not doing campfire and marshmallows, if you guys get my point. So your camera is upside down right now. So if you were recording, you need to stop it and then hit that record button again.
I just heard we are all liars.
That's interesting. Ellie's like called Dueler's Alley. It's Philadelphia Alley now because Dueler became stupid first off and illegal, so they had to rename it after a city that helped us out of one of our many fires that I already talked to you about. So here's how this story goes that I told you every ghost tour talks about. So it kind of sucks because Brandon left with the one tool that was actually designed for this location, and I told him to go ahead and take it.
I got 2.6.
That was
3.2. Did you say 3? Oh, 10.7.
I'll take the 10.
Holy cow.
I told you, the 7 and above is what I'm looking for here because of the lampposts.
Okay.
But she had a 10.7. I'll take it. Chris, did you get anything?
Shot through the heart. That's what I'm saying.
Nice. All right. Right at the same time you had your...
It said what? Shot through the heart?
Shot through the heart.
Shot through the heart. And we're about to talk about duels. And we had the word drawing. Like they're drawing their guns. All right. So, Brandon's device was actually the reason... This location is the reason why I bought it. Like, did I rip my little thing? But he's not here right now. So then there were 9. No, I'm kidding. So, he'll be back. He just had to run somewhere real quick. But anyway, here's how the story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. So his name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you listening on your spirit boxes and not paying attention to me, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. We get it all the time because it's part of the doctor's name, Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. So she has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash flow that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. He tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. So he comes here to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's money. He's going to make his own and start his medicine practice down here. So on his way into Charleston, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here. But somebody was walking by. His name was Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop there on Ralph because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. We were getting RI all the time on your two spirit boxes, so I bought the Ouija board device so I can get the specific letters. I will tell you in the 6 months that I've had it, when I'm telling this part about Ralph, we've had it again 4, 5, 6 times. I lost count. But again, it does come up consecutively. I just need a secondary clue so I know who it belongs to. 2 different characters, right? So, back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. He's got a gunman inside. Come with me to 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from these friends of mine, and you'll be safe and good to go. The doctor took him up on the offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor because Amanda's moving down soon, so that way they can actually get married. Here's what I'm going to tell you about whistling ghosts. Every haunted city has a cliched whistling ghost. It's just something we all do. There is proof of this one. Of course, I'm going to tell you that, but hopefully you're going to capture that tonight as we kind of go through the rest of the piece of the history. So back to Ralph and the doctor. They go see plays together, but they cannot sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's just the way the hierarchy works. There's a ghost coming by, everybody. And he's going to have our devices, and he's going to let us know if he sees an RI. So Jennifer, if you can include him in when he gets here. But they go see Richard III one night, and they're arguing over the new actress because they're talking about the play on the way home because they couldn't sit next to each other during the play. The doctor gets better seats because he makes more money, in case I missed that part. But anyway, they're arguing over the actress, and the doctor thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It gets really ugly. They went their separate ways. But you already know that Ralph has friends around town. He goes to the newspaper and places an ad and tells them to place an ad telling the whole city what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society. Slap, slap with a glove is normally what I've been doing with that line. So that's where she heard the glove, and I'm like, I like the glove. I'll take that one. My daughter would make fun of me because it sounds like an old man saying slap, slap with a glove. But anyway, she comes on to tours often, just so you guys know. She's 17 and a smart ass, and that's just who she is. But anyway, back to Dr. Ladd. Dr. Ladd saw the ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned. The doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot his one shot from his flintlock. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. He did get the word bravery. So I'm getting all kinds of words straight from the word of the ghost teller, right? Looks like we just have a family coming by, because that's definitely not a tour guide in front. So we'll let them pass if they're going to walk all the way through. But anyway, Dr. Ralph has this one bullet left, right? He hasn't shot it, so he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd doesn't die. He drops to the ground. Ralph, what's that? Oh, look at that. We're getting double whammy here. So let's let everybody just pass through. No, just keep going. Just keep going. They don't know what we're doing. Just be still. Hello, hello. How are you? Good, good. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
See there? Nice and casual. Okay. You're just the weirdos around Charleston.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. So anyway, where was I? Doctor fell to the ground, right?
Yeah.
He was carried home to his home at 59 Church Street by his friends, and he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. First off, you need to remember that he's a doctor. He probably just tried to bleed out this bullet wound himself because it's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than they are now. It's probably just lead poisoning. However, he did die November 2nd of 1786. Every ghost tour that comes down here will tell their people to listen for the whistles as they're in the alley. First off, besides that air conditioner, it is usually super quiet down here. Even on a busy Saturday afternoon, the nice thing for you guys is we have 3 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to get a whistle, it's definitely going to show up on one of those 4 items. You don't have to do it on your own. If you decide, because I can't take you all the way through here, I've actually been kicked out of here. We're going to get to that in a minute because that's the fun part of the story. And you're going to turn on your voice recorders from your phones and walk all the way through. Just keep in mind, every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen throws a whistle down the alley. We all do it. I do it too. So, especially since I got booted out of here, I just like to throw off all the other tours. So, here's how that part of the story goes. Here's how I got kicked out. Like, there's no laughs. Megan was the only one that like laughed at that. Like, I got in trouble. Kaylee's like, holy shit, who did we sign up with today? But anyway, there the chuckles. Good. So the alley didn't go all the way through this way, the way we came in. There was a wall up there. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley, because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So that means the bricks on the other side are older than the ones we're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down at the end of this alley and some fingerprint swipes from others off to the left. I used to take my groups all the way through here when I first started doing this. However, I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid is not there. I'm not looking to hunt him down and hopefully get activity out of it because that's the last place you're going to find him. However, November 26th of 2020, my entire group is huddled around that one brick waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoot them along because I know nothing's going to happen because he's not there. Secondly, because it's outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was just trying to be respectful. I didn't know I was out of bounds for tours. So, I was new at this, and Chris is like, yeah, now I'm down with this guy. Cool. So, we moved on after the new owner came out screaming, and my daughter thought it was great because her dad was getting yelled at during that time. And the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in retail management, upper management for Walmart for a good part of 20 years. You know now why I will never go back to retail or work on Thanksgiving ever again in my life, because all of you people hang out at Walmart on Thanksgiving, and I will never go back. So, secondly, the next day after that was November 28th. I know it gets warm down here. I'm trying to rush through it. November 28th, I called my partner that I had at the time that actually was teaching me about tourism. I told him what happened. He's like, you're not allowed to go down that far. We've already gotten the complaint. You got to go down halfway, which is what we're allowed to do because that's the boundaries, because it's residential, anything past that, or reroute the group. I told my group that night, because it's Black Friday and I'm sold out again, that I'm going to reroute, but I've never had anything happen at this next location. I don't even believe in the story. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person, which is exactly what I was giving you the gist of at the beginning of our night. So, before we left the space, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. So I got a little bit excited. So we went over there and I told them what little bit I did know about piracy. Somebody else here's the number 300 coming out of their spirit box. We're going to let them pass through again. Sorry, guys. So I don't know what the number 300 means. I write it down just like what I'm doing for you guys tonight, and I research it the next day. Turns out the date that we were there of November 28th of 2020 was the exact 300th anniversary of Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. So some of you are looking at me with like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was pissed off about it. First off, pirate lore to me is a big problem because I have a master's degree in creative writing. I need even facts and data to create fiction stories, and especially when I'm doing a paranormal investigation. Pirate stories are based off of pirate lore. So that's a big issue. That means I have to read more books to be able to debunk more things. So half my library now is nothing but pirate books. And I watch more documentaries, more movies, and even play video games with pirates in them to get a different version of the story, because they all tell a different to me. The person's filming us a white film, like static snow on old TVs, went over the person using the spirit box, and it shut off. We get out of the area, the snow goes away, and all of a sudden their spirit box is back on and recording, and there's no interruption in the recording whatsoever. We've seen that at least twice in the past 4 years that I've been doing this.
Yeah, there's like a little bit of black over it.
It's just a weird instance that I can't get it out of my head, that hopefully one day it occurs again, where something's going to happen a little bit further than that. So hopefully we get something. What are the last 2 words you have on your word list there?
She doesn't have her glasses. Balance and play.
And by the way, there's like a little bench along that wall if you want to sit down right now. I'm perfectly fine because you're going to try to make still shots anyway. So if you wanted to sit down and... Yeah.
Mom,
Yeah.
sit down.
Have at it.
Thank you. Do you say right here or right outside? Huh?
Right here.
Oh, much better, huh?
Yeah. I'm getting sticky.
Oh, it almost feels like I have a giant cut. Like I don't even want to walk around.
Does that say play? favor. It says favor.
Favor?
Let's say favor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're getting the people over there.
No, I'm not. There's no one in this frame. And how does he detect who's a person and who's a ghost?
He said it was the black. That's what they said. Don't aim it at someone in our.
Well, it's hard when they're walking right in front of the camera. Here, I'll aim it right here. Is he just gonna hear us talking? Because
No, because yours. It doesn't record.
yeah, it's on record. Mom.
Oh, soldier.
Soldier.
Soldier came up.
I don't get what yours does.
It's just words, like if someone's trying to communicate. But soldier just came up.
Well, let's do this one. Favor, listen. Listen. Right? A favor and a soldier.
So did the soldier do a favor for her? Her Anne? What kind of favor? Give us the dirt.
Spill the tea.
Yeah, spill the tea. What did the soldier do? Tight. Tight. You were tight with the soldier?
Mom, I'm thirsty.
Interesting.
Remember, mine's recording, so he's going to go back to listen. I wish I got one of the listening devices.
Oh, thank you so much. I got it.
But I'm glad you didn't, because you would have been like, what?
No, I
you
couldn't.
wouldn't. Bitch,
I would have
what?
had to give it to you. I would have had to give it to you.
Megan, turn this off. I think it was John. If you're listening to this, Nick, Mom, you gotta, let's see the scroll of.
It's just the soldier. Which, you wonder if that's really in, or if that's because we're right here in front of the arms, you know, the house where they had all they stored all the ammo. Or the gunpowder.
What tour is that? That she's like, so this is like the Jersey Shore of Charleston. What the fuck? What? Well, where's Snooki?